Hello everyone, welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flow. So find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So we will start just sitting down. And I'm not going to use any props myself, but as always, use what you like to use. But let's find a comfy seat for sure. And you might place your hands on your knees to start. And we're just going to do a little bit of a seated kind of cat and cow movement, kind of lifting the chest and kind of rounding the spine a little bit. So maybe your hands on your knees kind of helps with that movement, but just a little lift of the chest, maybe the chin, kind of send your belly button forwards a touch. And then you can kind of crouch forwards, round the spine, tuck your chin. Just kind of keep moving forwards and back. Little squeeze of the belly. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, maybe as you're lifting the chest up. And just do that a few more times. Maybe starting to move with your breath a little bit. Let the inhales lift your chest up. And the exhales round the spine, tuck the chin down. Just a few more here. A few more breaths. And then the next time you round the spine, kind of crouch forwards a little bit, just start to come back to centered, back to just a nice long spine. And you might keep your hands on your knees, but maybe you can let your palms turn to face up. With your fingers a little bit, maybe start to close your eyes or look down in front of you. Let your shoulders fall from your ears. And with the next inhale you take, just bring a little bit more length into your spine. Push the ground away from you for your sit bones, so your feet kind of. Just taking a moment here to slow down any movement. Just checking in with how you're feeling today. Check in with how your breath is feeling today. And if you do have your eyes closed, might start to open them up. Just looking down to the floor in front of you. If you have your palms turned to face up as well, you might turn them to face down. Maybe give your fingers a little bit of a wiggle as well. And then if it feels right to walk your hands a little further in front of you, you can tip forwards a little bit. Walk the hands away. Lean forwards and then just walk the hands back. And if you're sitting cross-legged like I am, just cross your legs the other way. Bring your hands back to the knees, maybe palms facing down perhaps. And then maybe you'll take a little walk with the hands. A little further in front, a little lean forwards. And then just finding your way right back up. And if your legs are crossed, you can uncross them. And maybe give your knees a little bit of a hug or a squeeze. Maybe a little rock side to side. We are going to be coming over into tabletop. So you can come onto your hands and your knees. A few more cycles through our cat and our cow from our tabletop position. Just warming up through the spine. So let the inhales drop your belly, lift your chest, your chin. Exhaling when you round the spine and squeeze the belly in, and you can move at your own pace. Nice and slow, nice and smooth, just warming up through the spine. Maybe starting to push a little bit more into the hands, warming up through the arms, shoulders. Let's take one more full breath. And then after the next time you round your spine, come back to just a nice neutral place. You can tuck your toes under. You can lift your knees into downward facing dog when you're ready. Maybe taking a little bit of a pedal through the feet, bend and straighten the knees, push into the hands a little bit. Let your head get a touch heavier. You might even give the hips a little bit of a swing, side to side. Stay for a nice deep breath in and deep breath out. And then let's use an inhale to look forwards. As you exhale, walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. And once you get there, inhale for a half lift. Lengthen your spine as you exhale, folding forwards. Let an inhale bring you all the way up to standing. Exhale as you lower your arms down to your sides. Take a shoulder roll. Spread your fingers wide with a big inhale. Reach up. Exhale. Slowly fold back down. Take an inhale for a half lift and exhale. Fold forwards. Inhale. Find your way all the way up to standing. Reaching up. Exhale, lower your arms down. Take a big inhale as you reach up again. And exhale as you fold forwards. Take an inhale as you lift your chest just halfway up. Exhale to fold. Inhale all the way up to standing again, reaching up. Exhale as you lower your arms down. Another big inhale to reach up. And exhale as you fold forwards. Take an inhale for a half lift. And this time as you exhale, let's hold the forward fold. Let your upper body dangle. If you need to widen the feet a little, you can do that. If you want to bend your knees a little more, bend your knees. If you want to add a little bit of a sway, add a sway or be still. Maybe you'll hold your elbows. Let your shoulders get heavier, trying to find your ear. A little tuck of the chin towards the collarbone, trying to create space in the low back by letting the upper body be nice and heavy. Maybe feeling some love to the back of the leg. Just notice your breath. And if you are holding on to your elbows, you can let your hands come back down towards the ground. Take an inhale and lift your chest halfway up. Bring nice length into the spine. As you exhale, we're going to fold and plant our hands. This time we're going to step our feet all the way back into downward facing dog. And you might start to bring your feet together. We're going to lift our right foot up any amount. Maybe your big toe rests on the back of the left heel. Maybe you lift your foot higher and higher and higher. But if the knee wants to bend, if you want to open it up a little bit, turn your belly button to the right side a touch. Maybe even look that way. Three-legged dog. Push into your hands and your left foot. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, we're going to bring our right foot down next to the left one. Inhale, the left foot can start to lift any amount. Maybe the leg stays straight, maybe it bends. Push the ground away from you. Nice big inhale, and let the exhale bring your left foot down next to the right one. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, lower your knees all the way down to your mat. Maybe your knees are snug together, but you can widen them about hip width apart back into our tabletop. So bring your hands under your shoulders. You might tuck your toes under in your tabletop. And then we're going to extend our left leg back behind us. So maybe our toes are still tucked. Maybe we'll take a very small hover of our right knee and push the ground away and squeeze the belly in. If your right knee is hovering, bring it down. Bring your left leg in. Maybe the toes stay tucked. Send your right leg back behind you. Tuck the toes under. Optional to take a hover of the left knee. Push into the hands. Squeeze the belly. Take a nice big inhale. As you exhale, let your left knee come down if it's lifted, and slide your right knee in as well. Maybe a little sway of the hips side to side, but tuck all the toes under and then lift your knees, both of them, up and into downward facing dog. Pushing into your hands, send your hips nice and high, using an inhale to look forwards. As you exhale, you can walk up to the top of your mat. And once you get there, inhale for a half lift. Exhale as you fold forwards. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reaching up. As you exhale, let your arms fall down to your sides. Your hands can find your hips. Let an inhale lift your chest, maybe your chin. Push into your feet a little, and instead of just sending the belly out, maybe squeeze the belly in, but a little lift of the chest, a little lift of the chin. And then let's start to crouch forwards. Reach your arms forwards. Squeeze the belly. Maybe you'll interlace your fingers and push your palms away. Maybe looking down as you tuck your chin towards your collarbone. Squeeze your belly in. Letting an inhale bring you back so that you're standing tall and your arms can just fall to your sides. If you want to add a shoulder roll, add a shoulder roll, and then take a big inhale to reach up. Exhale, folding forwards. Inhale as you lift halfway up. And exhale to fold back down. Plant your hands, step on back into your downward facing dog. Push into your hands. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, lower your knees down again into your tabletop. So let's tuck our toes under again. The left leg can extend back behind us. We can take a very little hover of the right knee, or we could go higher than that into downward facing dog, but with our staggered feet, pushing into the hands. Now, if you did lift the knee pretty high, start to bring it back down into your hover. So your tabletop, maybe with a hover of the knee, just a little hover. Push into the balls of the feet. Take another inhale. As you exhale, relax your right knee down and bring the left one back into your tabletop. Maybe the toes stay tucked. As you send your right leg back, you want to take a little hover of the left knee. Take a little hover. If you want to go further than that, into your downward dog, lift the knee higher. You can decide which is easier, the tabletop hover or the downward dog staggered feet. But if you are in that nice high left knee, that weird downward dog, just start to come back into the hover. Push the ground away, squeeze the belly in. Maybe a little more work here. Take another inhale. As you exhale, relax your left knee down. Bring the right one in as well. Maybe a little sway through the hips side to side. You can untuck your toes now. You might want to rest just on the tops of the feet, the tops of the toes. And we're going to reach our arms out in front. So spread your fingers wide. Start to let the chest get heavy as you keep your hips high. Maybe your forehead can come all the way down. Maybe your chest can. Your puppy dog stretch. Take a moment to slow down. Breathe. When you're feeling good, to lift back up, lift your chest, move your hands in and underneath your shoulders. You can tuck your toes, lift both of your knees into your downward facing dog, pushing into the hands, and then use a nice big inhale to look forward. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale for a half lift once you get there. And exhale as you fold forwards. Take an inhale, come all the way up to standing, reaching up. And exhale as your arms fall down to your sides. All right, you guys, let's stay standing and do just a little bit of balance. If you want to move to hold on to something. But let's start with our right foot on the ground, standing on our right foot. You can lift the heel of your left foot to start. You could float the foot completely, maybe trying to squeeze the legs together, the knees together a little bit, maybe pointing your toes behind you. You could try to reach back for your left foot, hold your foot, hugging the heel towards the glute, a little extra maybe, or just as far as it wants to go. You can here, if you're holding your foot, squeeze the legs together, the knees together as well. A few more moments here. If you do want to try to take a little tip forwards, maybe you're holding on to something, concentrating. Maybe you're holding your foot. Maybe you're still tipping forwards. And maybe we can let our chest get a little bit heavier. And then maybe we can actually let go of our left foot and start to extend it out behind us. Now we're in Warrior 3. We kind of cheated on the dancer there. It wasn't a full dancer, but you might be tipping forwards and letting your left leg go out behind you. Maybe your hands are holding something. Just slowly start the journey back all the way to standing on both of your feet. Give your legs a little shake. As you start to stand on your left foot, maybe you start with the heel lift of the right. And you stay here. Maybe the foot starts to lift a little more, maybe a little point to the toes behind, maybe a little squeeze of the knees together. Whatever challenges you. Stay there and then maybe move on, maybe not. You do want to reach back for the foot though. Maybe think of it as a quad stretch. Hugging the heel towards the glute. Maybe you are going to start to tip forwards a little and look down a little. And maybe you're still hugging your heel towards your glute a little. As you slowly, slowly, slowly tip. And maybe you stay here. Maybe very, very slowly you let go of your foot. Woohoo! And find your Warrior 3. And relax your shoulders. And just like that, it's already over. So you can find your way back to standing on both feet and take a little shake of your legs. A shoulder roll if you want one. Start to spread your fingers wide though. And then as you inhale, reach up. Exhale, slowly fold all the way down. And pause in your forward fold. You can widen your feet as much as you want or bring them as close together as you'd like. Let your upper body be heavy. Hold your elbows or just dangle your arms. If you want to sway, you can sway. Just slowing down again. Notice your breath. Notice how your legs are feeling now. And if you are holding your elbows, you can let your hands go back down towards the ground. Bend your knees a little more. Take an inhale for just a half lift. How long can you make your spine? Maybe slightly gaze forwards a touch. And then exhale. Fold down, plant your hands, step back and into downward facing dog. Or maybe your feet will come together and your right foot will lift any amount, maybe really high, maybe bending the knee. But just another inhale in your three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring your right foot down. Inhale the left foot up. And exhale, bring that left foot down. Take another inhale in downward dog. As you exhale, lower your knees all the way down to your mat. Maybe as you slowly lower, your feet and your knees stay together, maybe not. But we're going to scooch our knees over to the left side of our mat. Scoot your knees together, and then you can lay down or sit down. Come down onto your right hip. And maybe just adjust the legs a touch more. They might be stacking nicely on top of one another. Maybe not so much, but start to turn your chest to face forwards. Push into your fingertips to lift your chest a little more. Trying to twist here through the spine. Trying to level the shoulders as much as you can. Breathing. If you're turning the chest forwards with some effort, you can kind of relax a little, maybe moving the chest to the left a touch so that we can plant our hands completely and lift our hips up. And then just kind of scoot your knees all the way over to the right side. Dropping the left hip down now, maybe stacking the legs a little bit better. And then just trying to turn the chest to face forwards. Trying to level the shoulders as much as you can. Feeling a twist through the core, through the spine. And slowly start to relax a little bit more so that you can plant your hands and again lift your hips back up and into your tabletop. Just bring your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Maybe take a little bit of a sway side to side. We are going to be extending our left leg back behind us again. We're going to keep our right knee on the ground this time. If you want to add your right arm, you can add your right arm. And then we can do just a couple crunches here, trying to bring our left knee and our right elbow together. A little round through the spine, a little tuck of the chin, a squeeze of the tummy. And as you reach out, maybe the left foot hovers, maybe it touches down, and then squeeze everything back in. Elbow and knee getting as close together as they can. Reach out and back in. And then just one more time to reach out and then come back into your tabletop. Take a little sway through the hips, regroup, plant the hands, spread the fingers, right leg can extend. If you want to add your left arm, you can, you don't have to. And then you can start to bring that left elbow and the right knee together. And around the spine a touch, squeeze everything in, and then extend. Exhale as you squeeze in, and inhale as you extend. Exhale. Squeeze it in, and then extend out just one last time. And then come back and into your tabletop. Relax, a little sway of the hips if you'd like. We can start to reach our arms back in front though for another puppy dog stretch. Spread the fingers, find some length through the arms, and let the chest be heavy. Slowing down again. Let's take one more breath. Then you can use an inhale to lift. Move your hands under your shoulders. Come back into your tabletop. Maybe take another sway or even a shoulder roll here. We are going to be sitting down now, so you can cross your ankles. You can sit down however you'd like to sit down. You might start with a hug of the knees, maybe a rock side to side. We're going to find our way into butterfly though, so you can bring the soles of your feet together. Your knees out wide, sitting tall, lengthen through the spine. You can stay sitting tall, or you could tip forwards a little bit. Just letting the shoulders fall from your ears. Now, if you like butterfly, you might be staying here. If you like tipping forwards when your legs are crossed more, like we started the class, or we did kind of at the beginning of the class, you could cross your legs one way, sit a little taller again, and then maybe you're tipping forwards from here. The butterfly or cross-legged for a moment. I'll let you know when to switch sides if you are going for the crossed leg. You can always just stay sitting tall as well. And if you are folding and you're crossing your legs, you might start to lift up, crossing your legs the other way, and it might be a whole lot different on this side. Just reset with a long spine first, and then maybe you're tipping forwards again. Let's take just one more breath. Wherever you happen to be, if you're folding forwards, use an inhale to lift up again. You might be planting your feet, bringing your knees together, maybe giving them a hug, squeeze. We are going to be leaning back. We'll keep our knees bent, our feet planted. Maybe your fingers will point behind you with your thumbs pointing out. Maybe you'd rather them face the other way, your hands face the other way. But bend your knees, bring your feet about hip width apart. Start to take a little lift of the chest, a little lift of the chin. You can keep your hips on the ground, or you can find a reverse tabletop as you start to lift your hips and the chest and the chin a little and squeeze the glutes and the belly too. And take just another inhale here. As you exhale, slowly start to let your hips come down and lift them back up. Maybe if you want, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes. Just another inhale. As you exhale, slowly, slowly come back down, and just one more lift if you want it. Hips, chest, chin, squeeze. Another inhale. And then as you exhale, start to come back down and lean forwards. Take all the weight out of your hands, your elbows, your wrists. If you want some wrist circles, you can take some wrist circles. You want to bend and straighten the arms a few times, you can do that too. But we are going to lay down so you can find your way onto your back. And either keeping your feet planted, or you could take a quick hug of the knees to the chest. Maybe a sway side to side. Feel your back against the ground. And if you have your feet lifted, we're just going to bring them back down. Our feet are going to come out wider, the knees as well. So maybe the feet and the knees can be the same distance, maybe a little bit wider than hips. Your arms, just rest them somewhere by your sides. We're going to start to sway the knees side to side. Maybe the hips kind of sway a little bit as well. You can make this a really small sway, or you can bring your knees as close to the ground as they will go. Just a couple sways, side to side. And then the next time you come back up with the knees, hold it there. Heel toe your feet back together a little bit. Start to bring your right knee in towards your chest. Hold on to it. Give it a little bit of a hug. You can send your left leg out long if you want to. You can keep your right knee bent, or you can start to straighten the leg. Maybe holding onto the back of the leg somewhere, maybe not holding onto it at all, but point your toes up a little bit. Maybe point your left toes too. Both of your legs are straight. You can continue to hold your right leg, or you can let it go. Just try to squeeze your low back down into the ground a little, turning on the core again. You're pointing your toes, turning on the legs. And then if you do have the right leg on the straighter side of things, just start to bend it again, relax it again. Give it a hug in to the chest. If you sent your left leg out long, you can start to bend it. You can bring it all the way to the chest, actually, and let your right leg go. Keep the foot planted if you want, or send the leg out long if you want, but just hugging that left knee or holding that left knee or leg. And then maybe you'll keep your leg bent. Maybe you will start to straighten it with the help of your hands or without, but it might feel good to point the toes and then squeeze the back, the low back, the whole back into the ground. to turn on the core and to point the toes a little bit more. And then if you do have your left leg on the straighter side of things, just start to bend it again, relax it, give it another little hug. And then your right knee could come back in towards the chest as well. You can hold both of your knees. If you rather your feet on the ground, they can go to the ground. Maybe you will start to straighten both of the legs, pointing the toes up above you. Hold the legs or not. Just squeeze the low back into the floor a little bit more. Point the toes. And then you might just let the feet fall a little bit further away from you. The further your feet go towards the floor, the harder this will be to hold the legs up. So find that sweet spot where, like, oh, I got to turn on my belly to keep my back on the ground. And then just start to relax again. Bend your knees, give them a little bit of a hug, maybe even take a nice rock side to side. If your feet are lifted right now, just bring them back down. Let's bring them out wide again. Feet out wide, knees out wide. You can do the sways side to side, or you could hold your knees over to the left side for a few moments, and maybe take your left foot and rest it on top of your right leg, kind of by the knee. Maybe feeling some extra stretch through that right leg, maybe a little bit of a twist. You do have your legs crossed though. Just bring that left foot back down where it was. Slowly lift your knees up again. Maybe you're going for the continuous sway side to side. Maybe you're going for the hover of the knees over to the right side now. Just an option if you do want to cross or rest the right foot on top of the left leg to make it a little heavier. If you have your legs crossed, just slowly uncross them. Let your knees lift up slowly again, maybe just a couple extra sways side to side if you'd like. If you still have your feet out wider, you can bring them in a little bit closer together. We can bring our knees back in towards the chest. Maybe even opening the knees out wider. If you want your feet on the ground, they can stay on the ground and you can make a diamond shape. Or you might have your feet floating and your knees out wide. Maybe adding a little bit of a sway side to side. You want to go into happy baby from here. You can lift your feet up higher. Knees out wide, feet out wide. If you are in happy baby or you just have your feet lifted up in any way, let's start to bring our feet back down all the way to the ground. And you can even send your legs out long when you're ready to do that too. Bring your feet out a little bit wider, maybe mat width apart. And we're just going to be lifting our arms up, straight up above us, fingers pointing up. You can keep letting your arms fall above your head. Maybe your thumbs can stay touching, your palms facing up. And stretch your body, spread your fingers nice and wide. As you lift your arms back up above you, maybe once they're straight up above the chest, turn the fingers to interlace together. Push your palms up. Maybe starting to let your arms fall back above your head, stretching the whole body. And then you're slowly going to lift your arms back up. Once they are up above you, you're going to try to sit all the way up to a seated position. And you're just going to go as far as you can go. And then you're just going to come right back down. Squeeze your belly. Reach your arms away from you gracefully. Rest your head and your shoulders again. And then just bringing your arms to your sides and letting your palms turn to face up. You need to scooch around a little bit, scooch around a little bit. But take a nice deep breath in and then let it go. And now you are officially in Shavasana. Enjoy a few moments here. Relax. Slow down. And slowly start to move. Maybe your fingers and your toes. Maybe reaching your arms back above your head. Take a big stretch. Bending one knee, one leg at a time before you roll over. You can find your way up to seated when you're ready. Maybe bringing your hands together. Take just one more deep breath in and out. Awesome practice, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me and Gussie today. Have a great rest of the day. Namaste.